Hey guys, it is Rob. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Movies That I Watched This Week. We're going to cover October 19th through the 25th. Usually I do Monday through Sunday. Now I got this idea from Julie Cassidy. Go subscribe to her. She usually does Monday through Friday. By the time you see this, it might be Monday because I try to watch 2 movies a day and then on Sunday night I do a video. And I tried to strictly make it horror, but I kind of went off the rails a little bit and went from horror to thriller to action. So there's a lot of different titles here, but I had a lot of fun. So let's start with Monday, October 19th. I watched Terrifier. Now, after viewing this again, I still think that this movie's overrated. I don't understand why people praise this a lot. I think Art the Clown is cool, but the story is lacking. The acting is pretty bad. It is low budget, and I understand that. There is a charm to low budget, bad acting movies, but I just don't see any difference here. It says makes Pennywise look like Krusty. I totally disagree. Pennywise would kill Art the Clown. I think Pennywise is a lot more interesting than Art the Clown. That's just my personal opinion. I don't see the praise for this movie. It's just, a movie about a killer clown. We've seen that before. So that's just my opinion. I'm not saying this movie's bad. I'm not saying it's terrible or anything. I just think it's way too overhyped for what people say. So that's the first one I watched. The second one I watched on the 19th, Assimilate. This movie, however, is amazing. It's got Andi Matichak from Halloween 2018. She played Laurie Strode's granddaughter. Joel Courtney. This is also low budget, but it's very, very good. It reminds me of like a mix between like The Faculty and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's got a really cool story. I'm going to do an in-depth review of this movie. I believe you can see it on Netflix unless they took it off. I'm not sure. But very, very interesting movie. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. And I remember I came across this by accident at Family Video. They had it for like $1, and I was like, oh, it's got the girl from Halloween 2018. So very, very good movie in my opinion. I definitely recommend this to anybody. So moving on to Tuesday, October 20th, I watched Bone Tomahawk with Kurt Russell. You got Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox, Richard Jenkins. You also have David Arquette and Sid Haig. Rest in peace, Sid Haig. This is a cowboy western horror film, or even cannibal film for that matter. Very well acted. Kind of a cool story. Very gruesome. Just a lot of fun. It's one of those RLJ entertainment movies. I have a lot of RLJ and RLJE. Very, very strong characters. It's a very, very good movie. It's by the same director who did, Craig Zahler, who did Cell Block 99, Brawl Cell Block 99. So he's a great director. The next one I watched on October 20th is a movie I haven't seen in a long time. It's a very, very good thriller with Jamie Lee Curtis, and that is Mother's Boys. Not a lot of people talk about this movie, but Jamie Lee Curtis is crazy in this film. Peter Gallagher, she does get naked a lot, and she goes crazy, cutting herself and stuff. She left them 3 years ago now. She's coming back, whether they like it or not. She's very good. This is a role that you don't see Jamie Lee Curtis doing at all. It says it's Fatal Attraction of the 90s. I can see that, even though Fatal Attraction was, I want to say, a lot more grittier than this movie, and they went kind of outside the box with Fatal Attraction. This one is more of a contained film. I believe you get to see Jamie Lee Curtis's acting roots here in a different way. So, very good movie. If you've not seen it, definitely recommend it. Moving on to Wednesday, October 21st, I watched The Rage, Carrie 2, the sequel to Carrie. I like this movie. This movie gets a lot of hate, a lot of unnecessary hate, and I never understood it at all. Sure, it's not as good as the first Carrie. It doesn't have that creepiness to it, like the first one did. Disturbing aspect, but this one is a lot bloodier and gorier than the first movie, and I do like the characters. I just think it's got that one kid, Zachary Ty Bryan from Home Improvement, and also what's his name, Jason London. He was in My Teacher or something, that one teacher movie with Tia Carrera. But it's got Amy Irving. Yeah, it's. I think this is a good movie. What they do to her, to make her flip out, and she has, the telekinetic powers like Carrie does. It kind of connects with the first one a little bit. But yeah, I like it. The ending kind of creeps me out. It still does. Kind of sad. The next one I watched on October 21st is a really great remake, in my opinion, and that is House of Wax. Elijah Kubert, you got Chad Michael Murray, Brian Van Holt, Paris Hilton, Jared Padalecki. Yeah, the best part of this is when Paris Hilton gets the pole into her face. Like, that's the best part, because she's a horrible actress. But I do like the story. They go to this town, and it's all made of wax. Like everything's made... Well, the town isn't made of wax, but the wax museum, the whole thing is made of wax. The people, the piano, the stairs, the walls, everything is made of wax. And these guys are basically killing people. They're, covering them in hot wax, and that's how they're doing it. So, I don't know. I enjoy this one. I think there's a good amount of comedy. There's a good amount of, horror aspects. It's really good. So the next one, let's see, moving on to Thursday, October 22nd, I watched a movie called Awake. Hayden Christensen, Jessica Alba, and Terrence Howard. This Hayden Christensen basically goes under. They're doing surgery or whatever, and he's still awake. He's still conscious, like he can still hear what's going on, and these doctors and stuff are plotting against him, and Jessica Alba as well. Like, it's a very good story, and it does have some really good twists. Very suspenseful, but I really feel sorry for Hayden Christensen in this movie for what he has to go through, but it's very, very good. It's more of a thriller, so... yeah, very good. It says right here, twist that will keep you guessing, and that's true. So, the next one I went with is kind of like an action thriller. Death Sentence. I freaking love this movie. This movie is fantastic. One of my favorite Kevin Bacon films, from the director of Saw, a violent film. You know what I like about this movie? You get to see what happens to Kevin Bacon's family, but you also get to see... from the perspective of the gang members, you get to see what they have to go through and what their purpose is in life. Like the people, John Goodman plays the father of one of the head gang members, and you get to see why he is the way he is, because his father treats him like dirt. You get to see both ways. And of course, Charlie Clouser did the music, because he did the music for the, Saw. But the music was great too. This includes the unrated version, never before seen footage. Kevin Bacon is he goes from a businessman to a, basically a killer. Learns how to shoot a gun, and he goes after these guys. Really, really cool, man. But one of the best revenge flicks I've ever seen, for sure. Moving on to Friday, October 23rd, I watched When a Stranger Calls, the remake. Now, I did a review of this years ago, and even then I didn't care for it. I still don't really care for it now. I still think it's kind of boring, because you don't really get to see anything happen. You see lights turn on and off. You see her walk into a room, light turns on, then it turns off, and then she thinks she hears a noise, and then the phone rings. Have you checked the children? Blah, blah, blah. Friend comes over. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's boring. It just, nothing happens. I'm not saying that, whatever her name is, Camila Bell is, I think she did a good job. It wasn't her fault. I just think the movie is, I think the original one is a lot better. That's just my opinion. This is not one of the greatest remakes. There are far better remakes out there. The Crazies, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Hills Have Eyes, Friday 13th. All those are a lot better. The other one I watched is a thriller that I haven't seen in a long time with Michael Douglas and Demi Moore, and that is Disclosure. Now, this is one of those films, Michael Douglas back at this time was pretty much having sex with all the top name women like Sharon Stone and Glenn Close, and he was making these erotic, sexy thrillers with all these women. And this is this is definitely one of them. Demi Moore, she looks a lot different here, but she comes on to him and tries to ruin his career by this one mishap. It's very entertaining. I do like the dialogue between the characters, and the story's pretty good too. So yeah, it's not a bad movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, actually. That's why I wanted to revisit it. So all right, moving on to Saturday, October 24th, I watched another Jamie Lee Curtis film, and that is, of course, Terror Train. Yes. Very good movie. The boys and girls of Signify. Some will live, some will die. I love this cover to the DVD by 20th Century Fox. Very good movie. Terror wears many disguises, all of them deadly. Jamie Lee Curtis was booming at this time. The other one I revisited is The Skeleton Key with Kate Hudson. Now, I'm not a big Kate Hudson fan. She usually does romantic comedies or romantic movies. This was actually a good change of pace for her. I do like the story to this one. It's got kind of a complex story to it. But yeah, it's basically a supernatural thriller in a way, but it's got some horror elements. Actually, it got a lot of horror elements. But I liked her in this movie. I thought she was very good. Moving on to the last day, Sunday, October 25th. I watched a very good Paul Walker film, Running Scared. One of my favorite Paul Walker films. This is definitely my top 5. Very dark, very gritty, very violent movie. Vera Farmiga's in this as well. Makes Kill Bill look like Sesame Street. I agree. It does. It really does. This movie really threw me off guard. It's got some good special features too. The commentary is very interesting to this film. This movie goes all the way. It really does. And Paul Walker was great. It's basically about a gun that needs, they're trying to get this gun that possibly has prints on it, and they're hiding the gun. These kids take the gun, they're hiding it away, and they're trying to go after this gun. That's about it. Now, the last movie I watched, I just wanted to switch things up again, switch things up a bit here, and I watched National Treasure. This is one of my favorite films of all time. This is so well done. I freaking love this movie with Nicolas Cage. Probably in my top 10 favorite Nicolas Cage films. Great music, great story. I love the adventure that it reminds me of Indiana Jones in a way. It's from the producer of Pirates of the Caribbean, but this is way better than Pirates of the Caribbean in my opinion. I just love the action. It says right there, is the Indiana Jones of the new millennium. It is. This is way better than Crystal Skull. I will say that. It's a great adventure. I love the fact, you know, they're trying to find the treasure of all treasures that's in America, and they go to all these cities like Philadelphia, Washington. They go to, I mean, great places that have to do with history, and they do tell a little bit of history here too. But Nicolas Cage was made for this role. I freaking love it. I love the second movie too, but it does not touch the first film. So I heard they're going to make another one. I just hope they don't kind of overdo it. I just think this is one of the best movies that he's ever done. So that is it, guys. That is Monday through Sunday, October 19th through the 25th. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned for next Sunday. I'm going to be doing another video of what I watched that week. And of course, you know, that's going to be around Halloween. And, you know, I'm definitely going to be watching certain movies for that holiday. So stay tuned. This is Rob signing off. See you next time.